Previously, on Ugly Paul's garage, we started tearing into this Coyote motor in order to get it ready to go into its new home. At 325,000 kilometers, this engine's going to need some freshening up before we put it in the car. On the agenda today, we swap in the Mustang cams, give it a new set of oil pump gears. All this coming up on Ugly Paul's garage. Okay, we're starting out by taking off the variable cam timing solenoids, and you can see we actually labeled them before we started taking them out because we will be reusing these, and I'm assuming they're both the same, but we don't know, so we figured it's best to label them just to make sure we don't put them back in the wrong order.
Here, 1 and 2, and these are the solenoids. There's one. You can find out.
Now we're taking off the timing cover. It's a little bit stuck in there, so you have to kind of pry at it with the screwdriver. Remember not to stick the screwdriver too far in there because there is a gasket and you don't want to damage it.
Hanging on. Oh, there's a bolt here. There it goes. Piece of cake.
Now, if you remember a couple episodes ago, I said we were going to try to use the F150 phasers with the Mustang cams. So we're labeling them here so we can put the right phaser on the right cam. As it turns out, F150 phasers don't work with Mustang cams, so this was a total waste of time.
I'm going to just thread the bolt back in so that it goes. Yeah.
That one doesn't want to come off as easily.
No, because there's tension on it. You're going to have, it's got the little ridge there, right? So we have to take the tension off somehow. Yeah, you got to bring that in. These aren't, there's not too much wear because these things are not sticking out a lot.
Careful. What he's talking about is the timing chain tensioners. They have a little finger that pushes the guide against the timing chain to take the slop out of the chain. And they use the engine's oil pressure to apply force on that finger. And the fingers themselves have a ratcheting mechanism to them, so that once they stick out, they can't go back in. So the fact that it's not sticking out that much is a good sign. Just try to be careful when you're taking them off, because even though there's no oil pressure, they can still have quite a bit of tension on them, and they can sort of fly off if you're not prepared.
There we go. And away she goes. Let's try this way. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you can see wear grooves in there. That should be smooth all the way across like this. It's got some, yeah, it's got some amount of wear. I don't think it's too bad. Considering its age, it's not too bad. Is that what it is? Whoop, there we go.
I guess we probably should have done it with the chain on. God.
That would have been better, huh?
That was dumb. Yeah, so in hindsight, probably would have been better to start cracking the bolts on the phasers loose before taking the timing chains off, so the tension of the timing chains would hold them in place. But now we gotta make do, so I'm just using a wrench to hold the camshaft in place while Ugly Paul breaks the bolts loose.
Drop these things on my toes or anything, but, and they're a bit of a bugger to get off and to get on too. There we go. There we go. I don't know if the other guys do this, but what I did on the other side was I collapsed this thing, and then I
Turn to the side.
I took it and twisted it sideways. See that? Because you can't get it past the ramps, but now it makes it kind of like a slide in there. Still have to push on it to get the tension off, to get these off, because they're so tight. There we go. Yeah, there she goes. Oh, that's easy. Oh, God. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Okay. We'll do one head at a time. And we can take these. They used to hang them on here. That's what they used to do. Used to hang them here and hang them there, so that they didn't get them confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how they're numbered. And they got a little chevron on there to depict the fact that they go that way. So they start here and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pretty simple. Especially this stuff here. It's like corrosion. I don't want that stuff getting into the caps in any way at all.
So before we go any further on this, you can see Ugly Paul's cleaning up the face where the valve cover gasket meets. One, to make sure it's a smooth surface so you get a good seal, and two, because you don't want any of that crud getting into the engine. And while he's doing that, I'm taking off the oil pump. And I know I said that in a couple videos ago that this was supposed to be sort of a budget build, but I did splurge on one extravagance, which was these new billet oil pump gears from MMR. So the stock oil pump gears, they're fine for daily wear and tear, but if you plan to add forced induction or if you do a lot of high RPM driving, there have been issues with the stock oil pump gears cracking, and I don't have any plans right now to do that, but you never know. So it's one of those things that, you know, we're already in there anyway, so you might as well just change it now, because it's going to be a lot easier to do when the engine's outside of the car than when we put it in. So I got the pump here on the bench. It's pretty straightforward to take apart. There's just a bunch of Torx bolts on the back, and you take those out and you can get into the pump and pull out the oil pump gears. So you're gonna want to have a bottle of assembly lube handy when you do this. Proper lubrication is essential. So when you put the new ones in, you're gonna want to slather it in lube, because you never want to go in dry. Not sure if there's the correct way to put these in. Does it matter if you go on one side or the other? Does the logo have to go like up, or?
Oh, how did you take them out?
Well, these are the old gears. They don't have any kind of markings on them.
They should have a marking like that.
Okay.
I believe that's the marking there.
Yeah, okay.
Now, did you notice whether the marking was the inside or the outside?
No, I didn't even think of it until after I took the gears out.
Ooh. So, writing up, right?
The logo side goes up towards the
up.
back of the pump. And before we put it back together, we clean the pump housing up first a little bit.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect it to come out that quick.
Okay. Never have too much lube.
So, like that?
Yep. It's kind of a really tight tolerance.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it'll fully seat in there.
Yeah.
It has to be perfectly level to go in.
Yep.
You can't.
I know. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Stuff's like honey. This reminds me of STP. Used to be this stuff called STP. I don't know if they sell it anymore. Okay, now these have to align with something, right?
Do they?
Yeah, because that's what drives it.
Yeah,
I think.
but you gotta align it with the crank, right? So
Right. Throw that over, put the bolts back in. 89-inch pounds. Done. Done. Now, all we got here is flats. Those flats go on these flats. What?
It doesn't look like it's totally together. There's a gap there.
Oh yeah, it is. Look at, you're tight. It's just, this is casting, right? It's relief. This is where it's actually machined flat in those two spots. That's where the bolts are. So I wouldn't worry. It's okay.
Okay, so as you're reassembling things on the engine, you're going to notice you're going to need a torque wrench a lot. And the oil pump in particular has kind of a complicated torque sequence. So I'll put it up on the screen and you can pause the video if you need to.
That's it.
Okay, so now we're cracking the cam caps loose. And notice that there's a certain order to this. We're going from the outside and working our way inside. There's a specific order you have to do them in, because if you do them in the wrong order, you can put stress on the wrong part of the camshaft and actually damage it. And you'll notice when we go to put the new cams in, we're going to be torquing them in the reverse order, inside to out. And after you break them all loose and you remove the pressure on the cams, you can just run them the rest of the way out.
And then, as I take the cap off, for instance this one, and we got a quick look at the cap here, a good look at, oh, they're beauties. Not too bad a shape at all.
And here's another handy tip for you. When you take the cam cap off, use the hole in the block where the valve cover bolts to as a place to temporarily hang the cam cap.
Can't feel anything. So
A, so you don't lose
not too
them,
bad.
and B, to keep them in the right order, because the order of the cam caps matters. You want to put each cam cap in exactly the same position that it was before.
That's amazing. I never thought this would work.
What?
There's no bearings in there. It's just straight aluminum on steel, or cast iron actually.
There's no bearings?
There's no bearing. That is raw aluminum. First time I thought that, I thought, what a dumb idea that is. But it saves them a ton of money. Saves the company a ton of money on parts and installation. Nothing you can feel. So I'm thinking you're going to be okay with this.
It's not uncommon for the caps to stick a little bit, so if you can't just wiggle them off, give them a gentle tap, and usually they'll come loose, and then you can take it off. That's pretty.
Those guys don't have any marks because these guys force the pressure upward. That's why.
Yeah, those look really clean.
Yeah, they do look very good. Okay. Not a lot of mileage on this one, eh? Not a lot of tarnish on it. Where's the, here we go. There's a 68273 FA Yeah, BR3E, that's Mustang. So there's your 273. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it now?
Yep.
So if I rotate it slowly, BR3E 6273 FA 6A272.
So that's this one. That's the 272. So it's going to be the exhaust cam. So what we're doing here, when we took the camshafts out of the Mustang engine, we didn't label which one was which. So we're using the part number to identify which camshaft is which. But when we took the camshafts out of the F150 engine, we made sure to put them in the cart in the exact position they were in, so we know which camshaft went in which position. Meaning we know whether it was on the driver's side or the passenger side, and whether it was the intake cam or the exhaust cam. So for example, this is the passenger side exhaust cam out of the F150 engine. So if you look at the part number, the first part that says FL3E identifies it as an F150 camshaft, and the second part that says 6A272 identifies it as the passenger side exhaust cam. If we go back to the Mustang cam and look at the part number, you'll see the first part reads BR3E, which is for the Mustang, and the second part says 6A273, which matches with the part number on the F-150's passenger side intake cam.
272. Yep, so this is the exhaust for this side. So let's start there.
So let's put it in the engine.
No, first we got to clean it.
Oh.
And the roller finger followers too. We got to make sure that all this styrofoam is not in here either. Got to get rid of that. That hole feeds into that hole.
Just when it lines up with the...
Well, no, because there's always oil in this groove.
Oh, okay.
So it gets pumped into the groove, goes through that hole, comes out through the filter into the
phaser.
The phaser. That's what feeds the phaser the oil. These rollers on the roller finger followers. Yeah, they're in good shape. How are the valves? Good shape. Gotta be careful that we don't disturb these. Just want to make sure they're clean because... on. See that dirt? I don't like that. We're the rocker arm assembly and we don't like dirt. Little bit of assembly lube.
So lubrication is critical, like I said before. When you first start up the engine, it's going to take a little while to pump all the oil into all the crevices and channels. So we're putting assembly lube, which is a much thicker lubricant that stays in place and it doesn't drain away. And you also want to put some lube on your shaft, your camshaft. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh, you know what? Oh, before I put this on, hold on. I almost forgot about these guys.
Don't forget to put lube on the rollers as well. And I think these go in barcode side up.
Pardon me?
When you time these, I think these go in barcode side up.
Do they? Barcode side up. Okay, like that?
Like perpendicular, I mean,
Like that?
yeah, perpendicular to the cylinder head.
Okay. Alrighty. Give these guys a wipe. Clean them up a bit. A little dab will do ya. Okay. Oop. Okay. That's correct orientation.
You're going to want to give the cam caps a wiggle just to make sure that they're properly seated. You can feel it when you have them seated properly. And once you get the cap on, you're going to want to run the bolts in, but only finger tight. You don't want to put any torque on them yet.
There. Okay, this one.
Oh, do you have to do it? Well, I guess you're not torquing them down, right? So it doesn't matter the order.
That's right. In fact, I got to do this one because this one's sitting up right now. That whole cam is not going in. I may have to loosen this off a bit because these things have to go in like right on perpendicular. The tolerances are that tight. Fingers clean, a little lube. Okay. Correct orientation. Comme ça. This rounded part goes toward this.
Oh, okay.
And then the rounded part goes at the bottom here.
Okay.
And if you look at, there's a little hash mark, not a hash mark, a chevron there that tells you the front of the engine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now that's going to go down. That's a goot. God, this stuff is like molasses. Check for correct orientation. Clean that up. Beauty. Lube. Okay. Check for correct orientation.
Well, you can put it in after the cap.
Yeah, you're right. You could. Might get in our way anyway. Assembly lube. Okay, this guy goes on there.
Okay, so everything we showed on the other side of the engine, take it and apply it to this side. Make sure your caps and your camshafts are nice and perfectly clean before putting them in. Always remember to use generous amounts of assembly lube. And try to put them in such a position where the cam lobes aren't touching the lifters. You want them to go in nice and level, and you don't want to have the spring tension of the lifter pushing up on it. And I think that's a good place to leave it for this episode. We got a lot of work done today. This whole project is a lot of work, but I think it's coming along really nicely. I sure hope nothing goes wrong.
On the next Ugly Paul's Garage, things go wrong. Pass the aspirin, because this valve train is about to give us some serious headaches. So be sure to slap the shit out of that like button and comment and subscribe, or you have to drive a douche. And be sure to stay ugly. Smell you later.